Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this morning, suspects on the run after police say a man was shot twice in the chest overnight. We'll have the latest details just ahead.
Later today, one of the cops involved in the killing of Rayshard Brooks in Atlanta is expected in court. I'm Alex Brachet in Washington. I'll have details coming up.
And taking a look outside with live cam. It is a humid start to your Friday morning. We're going to check in with Mike to see what you can expect today and for the rest of your weekend.
And good morning. We made it to Friday. It is June 19th.
Thanks for joining us. Yes, we did. We made it. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to everybody. And the weather this morning, Mike, was unremarkable to me. The humidity didn't smack me across the face.
No, not that bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's you two kind of match. I like the colors.
Thank you. Hi, Marcus.
Hello.
Anyway, yeah, it is humid out there, and this is a lot like what it was yesterday, and then this is the start of the pattern that we're going to see now for about the next 5 days, it looks like, 5-6 days even. So there is humidity out there this morning. We also have just a couple little sprinkly showers, not much. A few of them have now popped up, even looks like a couple of them you might run into a little sprinkle there if you're going across 1604. We may have had a few of them on the west side of town, and then a few more out here in northeastern Medina County, everything kind of sliding up to the north. So we'll have one or two of these around this morning. There's a few of them down there even coming in off the coastal plain. Kind of the same situation like what we had yesterday. 78 degrees in town, 76 Valverde. We are about where we were at this time yesterday, maybe even a little bit warmer. And yeah, there's plenty of humidity. I mean, these numbers are actually, dew points are up a little bit, and you start getting 75, 76. I mean, that is just, that's humid out there, just to put it mildly in Castroville. And mold is on the low side. Same thing with grass and pigweed. 86 at noon, 93 for a high temperature. Again, high temperatures are going to be somewhat held in check. One or two of those stray showers, thunderstorms later on this afternoon. Do it all again tomorrow. Do it all again on Sunday. Details coming up. Time saver traffic right now on this Friday morning. Here is the one, the only Officer Marcus Trujillo.
Well, good morning, Mike, and good morning, everyone at home. As we take a look at the roadways, so far, things move along fairly well. However, it's Friday, which means construction. Why not? Why not start off the weekend with a little bit of delay in your morning commute? 35, 1604. We have some construction barrels out there as well as a lot of flashing lights. So use caution. I-10 at Woodlawn, not too bad. 35 Division, north and southbound lanes running smoothly at this point. And 410 Highway 151 so far looking pretty good. 21 at Winding Way so far, north and southbound lanes at 21. No delays, but Highway 90 at Mandeville Creek on those eastbound lanes. Watch out for some additional construction lights. Mark and Stephanie.
Thank you, Marcus. New this morning, San Antonio police say a person is in serious condition after being shot in the chest overnight. The shooting happened on the city's northeast side in the 4800 block of Castle Sword. That's near Rittiman Road. Police say just before 11 p.m. they got word of a fight that escalated into a shooting. SAPD responded and says they found the victim with 2 life-threatening gunshot wounds to the upper chest. The victim was taken to an area hospital. Police said the suspects got away in a black pickup truck and still have not been found. In Atlanta, the officer charged with murder of Rayshard Brooks is expected to be in court later today.
And now the other officer involved in that case is speaking out about what happened that night. ABC's Alex Brachet has more from Washington.
Stark images of 2 police officers. A week ago, Officer Garrett Rolfe was on the force. Now, out of a job, later today, he'll face a judge.
The first charge is felony murder.
The 27-year-old is facing 11 charges, including murder, for shooting and killing Rayshard Brooks in a Wendy's parking lot. He's being held without bail. His former partner, 26-year-old Devin Brosnan, is accused of aggravated assault. This is him yesterday, leaving jail on a $50,000 signature bond.
I'm looking forward to cooperating with any investigators.
He spoke on MSNBC with his attorney describing the beginnings of that encounter with Rayshard Brooks.
I felt he was friendly, he was respectful, I was respectful to him, and I felt like, he seemed like someone who potentially needed my help. And I was really just there to see what I could do for him and make sure that he was safe.
The officers determined Brooks was drunk, and when they tried to put him in handcuffs, he refused, and it got physical. Seen wrestling with one of their stun guns. When he reached back and pointed it towards Garrett Rolfe, Rolfe fired 3 shots, killing Brooks.
The city of Atlanta says you cannot even fire a taser at someone who's running away, so you certainly can't fire a gun, a handgun, at someone who is running away.
The shooting sparked anger for days in a city already dealing with unrest from recent police killings across the country. Supporters of the officers say the shooting was justified and accuse the city of buckling under political pressure. Police across the city have been calling in sick. The official line from the department is that the numbers are small, saying we have enough resources to maintain operations and remain able to respond to incidents.
Our job is ugly to start with, and now you face the chance of, at best, spending the rest of your life in prison without parole.
The Fulton County District Attorney says he won't seek the death penalty against Garrett Rolfe in this case. Now, as for whether or not Rolfe's former partner will testify against him, the DA says he expects Brosnan to follow through with what he's already promised. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
Here at home, let's take a look at the latest local coronavirus numbers. The total number of COVID-19 cases in Bexar County now stands at 5,550. More than 3,000 people are now fighting the illness, but more than 2,000 people have recovered. The number of deaths has increased by 2 for a total of 92 deaths. As the cases rise, the city is looking to hire help. Metro Health looking to fill more than 70 temporary positions. Those listings are on the city's website. Bexar County is also hoping to help small businesses by giving out free masks next week.
A reminder, there are local walk-up testing sites that are rotating each week. Metro Health will have free testing at Burbank High School and Jordan Middle School this week. The walk-up testing will continue today and Saturday from 10 to 2. Each site will test 175 people at each location per day, but they plan to add more testing next week.
There are also 4 free drive-through testing sites, but it's very important you make an appointment ahead of time. While some locations listed already have several spots filled for the next several days, Metro Health says the Freeman location has more openings and the ability to get people tested sooner. You can call the phone number on your screen or 311 for help getting registered for testing.
Today is set to be the last day for San Antonio Police Department Assistant Chief Anthony Trevino. Multiple sources confirming news of his retirement to the KSAT defenders. Trevino joined the SAPD in the early 1990s, served as interim chief at the start of 2015, and took on the role for more than 9 months before current Chief William McManus came out of retirement to rejoin the force. Back in 2014, Trevino indicated he wanted the position permanently. We reached out to SAPD for a comment and are waiting to hear back what they have to say about Trevino's departure. 437, 78 degrees.
Still ahead on GMSA. It's not the 4th of July just yet, but many American cities seeing a spike in firework complaints. We're going to take a closer look at why.
And next, as President Trump gets ready to hold a campaign rally, some health officials are concerned about the event spreading the coronavirus.
Taking a look outside with live cam. No rain for now, but we're going to check your chances for today and the rest of the weekend with Mike in just a bit.
In your morning headlines, President Trump is heading to Oklahoma this weekend for a campaign rally. The president's rally will be inside the BOK Center in Tulsa tomorrow. Some of his supporters have been waiting in line for days. Some health officials are worried the event will spread COVID-19, but those who have registered to attend have agreed not to sue the campaign and other entities if they get sick. They will be given the opportunity to use hand sanitizer and masks, but not mandated to wear the masks.
Amy Klobuchar has removed herself from consideration to be Joe Biden's running mate. The Minnesota senator says the former vice president should pick a woman of color as his vice president. Klobuchar cited recent national unrest surrounding police brutality and racial injustice. Some of the top contenders Biden could pick for vice president are California Senator Kamala Harris, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, and Florida Representative Val Demings.
Wall Street is starting off the week with a little uncertainty. Thursday was a mixed day for stocks, with both the Nasdaq and S&P closing up. The Dow, however, ended in the red. An increase in COVID cases could be a factor as investors watch parts of the U.S. start to reopen. Another factor could be new unemployment data just released. It shows the labor market is bouncing back, but at a lower rate than anticipated. Just about 442, 78 degrees.
And still ahead, the latest property tax deadline just around the corner. A look at what you can do if you're a little behind on your finances.
And up next, why some American cities are already seeing a jump in fireworks complaints ahead of the July 4th celebration.
In this morning's GMA First Look, it's not the 4th of July. So why are so many American cities seeing spikes in fireworks complaints?
everybody has been, locked down or shut in for, 3.5 months, and people are just itching to do something.
Night after night, in backyards and on street corners. That sound cutting through the darkness.
We got these boom, boom, booms like at 12 o'clock at night. From everyone that I've talked to has just said that it has to stop.
These displays aren't just loud, they're also potentially dangerous. We'll tell you what you need to know to stay safe coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Eva Pilgrim, ABC News, New York.
Questions involving property taxes still coming into our newsroom. Homeowners who lost their income are facing a June 30th deadline for their split payment.
12 on your sides, Marilyn Morris took concern to the county's taxman.
That's a common concern that we hear. Hey, my business has been closed down for 3 months. How am I going to pay my property taxes?
Property taxes could be a chunk of change, and for those who split their taxes, the deadline to pay up is June 30th. So what's a cash-strapped taxpayer to do? We asked the tax collector, Albert Uresti.
The most important thing for them to do is to try to pay as much as they can of the second half that is due.
Because on July 1st, by law, you'll be hit with a 13% penalty for the unpaid amount. Next, he says, contact his office to set up a payment plan. That can help avoid another whammy, 20% attorney collection fees come September 1st. Payment plans are how George Arroyo manages his taxes.
I still got to pay $1,000 something. That's why I make arrangements.
Seniors, the disabled or disabled veterans struggling to get by can also get a 180-day tax deferment. Failure to pay taxes can eventually result in a tax lien or foreclosure. So bottom line,
if you come see us, we will work with you.
If you are struggling to make your payments, there are other resources that may be able to help. You can contact the United Way or dial 211. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
447.
Let's go ahead and check traffic with Marcus Trujillo.
Well, as far as traffic is concerned, the flow of traffic, not too bad. Now, we have some slowdowns there along Bandera Road between 1604 and 410. However, number of stoplights there between those two locations. So let's take a look at Highway 90 at Medio Creek. Still have those flashing lights there in place. Moving over to 410 at Ingram, you can see that 410 looks pretty good. Access road, no issues. And move out a little bit further up, 410 Bandera. These are the connector ramps from Bandera to continue on northbound along 410, and no issues there. Take a look. I-10, 410, looking pretty good on the east side, and then 1604 up on the northwest side. So far, not too many folks out there this morning. It is early, but it's also Friday. So even though we have still a lot of folks at home instead of going to work, we still are seeing lighter traffic on Fridays for those that are going to work.
Yes, sir.
That's good.
Mike, I guess there's a teeny tiny chance we could see wet pavement here or there this morning.
A couple little sprinkly showers that are going to be popping up. Of course, we had some, that developed yesterday, and then there were one or two in the afternoon. And this pattern is, again, we're now into it, basically day 2 of this pattern. We had that break on Wednesday, and then yesterday a few of those showers scattered about, and that's going to be the situation through the foreseeable future. Beautiful picture yesterday, the sun kind of behind that banner, but yeah, it was nice to look at the sunshine yesterday and mixed in with some of the clouds that were out there. Lots of low clouds, lots of humidity once again this morning, and again, it's almost a carbon copy of yesterday, although these temperatures are up slightly. 79 right now, Castroville, 78 in San Antonio, and dew point temperatures really are up a little bit, a degree or two, and that does make a lot of difference. 73 here in town, but Canyon Lake 74, 75 Helotes, 76. I mean, you get those numbers, 74 and above, and it is, like I said, wet towel, rainforest kind of humidity. And we will see that slight decline in dew point temperatures later on today, but that only knocks us down to about, upper 60s, 70s. So heat index readings are definitely going to be an issue, although thank goodness that we will keep temperatures somewhat held in check, about low 90s, but that still allows heat index readings to get up into the, about upper 90s and even some low hundreds around the area. We go through the same process again tomorrow and again on Sunday as well. So here's what radar is picking up right now, and actually a few more little sprinkles look like they've started to fill in portions of the hill country, and so we've got these basically light, maybe maybe a decent little shower here and there, sort of in and around Medina Lake in northeastern Medina County, and a few of them right there on the west side of town as well. So again, a couple of damp spots on the roads this morning. All this is basically some clutter in and around the radar site. And then we've got a few more of these showers that are starting to pop up. And what's interesting is, though, how some of this has even started to fill in a little bit more just in the past, 15 minutes, 20 minutes since we showed radar off the top of the show. Computer model does have these scattered showers about later on today. 20% chance of rain is going to be pretty much the call, and that'll be the case tomorrow. I think it's Sunday as well. Heat index readings again today, mid upper 90s, low hundreds around here. And the only real difference in the forecast today from yesterday, a couple of computer models have sort of changed their mind as far as late next week. We're going to talk about that in a second. 86 degrees today at noon, partly cloudy. Again, a couple of showers around here, and then a shower, thunderstorm this afternoon, 93. It'll feel like the upper 90s, though. Now, the weekend, copy into tomorrow. Oops, I forgot to move the holidays. I'm sorry. Tomorrow's first day of summer. Sunday is Father's Day. Oh, forgive me.
It's okay.
Anyway.
Well, we can extend our celebration to Monday as well.
Hey, that's why I love Stephanie. One thing that has changed a little bit, temperatures may actually be down somewhat. There are a couple of computer models that keep us a little bit lower, and I think maybe a little bit better chances of rain Wednesday and Thursday.
Up next week, huh?
Yeah. So we'll still be in about the low 90s. So forgive me for the. But I like your idea.
It's okay.
Of course, yes.
In Father's Day.
We're grading on a curve today. You're good. Right now. I'm sorry?
I would say more celebrating.
That's right. 451, 78 degrees.
Thank you, Mike. Coming up next, lots of new items are available to stream as we head into the weekend. We're going to have a preview next.
Got a boatload of lottery numbers here. Pick 3, 929, Fireball 9, Daily 4, 0418, Fireball 5.
Cash 5, 2, 5, 12, 16, 32. And your Texas two-step, 6, 23, 27, 32, 20.
Brand new choices for streaming and details on a couple of shows highlighting the Juneteenth holiday.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
New to watch this weekend, the movie Miss Juneteenth is the story of a mom trying to make a better life for her teen daughter. It's available for on-demand rental.
You always embarrass me.
I can't open the door.
The movie 7500 stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt in a tense thriller about a hijacked plane. That's on Amazon. On Apple TV Plus, just in time for Father's Day, the documentary Dads celebrates dads, directed by Bryce Dallas Howard.
This is my purpose now.
And tonight on ABC, it's the special Juneteenth, a celebration of overcoming, featuring Whoopi Goldberg and more. A reversal from ABC TV to get a show featuring black voices back on the air ASAP. When ABC's primetime schedule came out Wednesday, Blackish was listed for mid-season, but now ABC says it will be back in September. ABC Entertainment President Carrie Burke says during this moment in time, it's important to tell the meaningful stories creator Kenya Burris and his team are known for, that Blackish furthers the dialogue and empowers viewers to raise their voices.
My son is a genius, everybody!
I'm the bad guy.
A scary situation for Grammy-winning singer Billie Eilish. The 18-year-old says a guy repeatedly showed up at her home where she lives with her parents and camped out on the front porch, refusing to leave. He was arrested for trespassing, and Thursday in court, a judge extended a restraining order against the guy for 3 years. And it may be Father's Day this weekend, but one of America's most beloved moms has a birthday today. Actress Felicia Rashad is 72, while singer and choreographer Paula Abdul is 58. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Right now it's 456, 78 degrees.
And still ahead in our next half hour, a look at how some area school districts are already planning for the next school year with coronavirus safety in mind.
Hey, you ready to take a balloon ride about 19 miles up into space? More details on this out-of-world experience coming up in your Morning Tech Bites.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this hour, a man shot in the chest on the northeast side overnight. We'll have details in a live report just ahead.
Plus, local school districts and teachers preparing for next school year with COVID precautions in mind.
And a few of you might see a stray shower this morning. Mike is tracking those on radar. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. It is June 19th.
Thanks for joining us and happy Friday.
Let's see how the weekend is looking. Of course, we have to start with Friday. Mike Osterhage.
Yes, and the weekend's going to look identical to today, and it's going to be identical to basically what yesterday was. So we are definitely in this pattern where not much is really going to be changing as we go in through the weekend, even into next week. 78 degrees. We're up maybe a couple of degrees compared to yesterday. I think at this time we were about 76. 79 right now at Carrizo Springs, and the dew point temperatures are also up. The measure of moisture in the atmosphere, and therefore the humidity is up. You will definitely notice it when you step outside. You also may run into a couple little sprinkly showers out there. So this is the kind of the big picture, and there's obviously not much. And these two spots, just a little bit of some ground clutter around radar sites. But notice how there are a few of these showers, and actually a couple of more have been kind of popping up around here. These, it's all this moisture coming on in, and they're right, Hondo, Castroville, northwest side of town. Marcus is going to probably show a little bit better shot. Maybe there's some damp spots on the roads over there, over by 1604, 10 on the northwest side of town. And there's a few more of these showers developing here off the coastal plain. So all the moisture, again, coming in, streaming on in here. And that's why we basically call them streamer showers. It's 79 right now in Castroville, 74 Bandera, 75 in Tarpley, and you get these numbers: 74 for Dew Point, Canyon Lake, Port SA, Randolph, Stinson, and even higher, Helotes and Castroville. That's a bunch of humidity. Mold, pigweed, grass are all on the low side this morning. Got some clouds out there right now, obviously, and that's what's with the humidity holding temperatures up. So mid 70s, mid upper 70s, a couple of showers around, scattered showers, a few storms, low 90s. So that's the saving grace here, is temperatures are being held in check. We will have humidity around, so it's going to feel hotter than that. And then same thing tomorrow, Sunday, scattered showers, thunderstorms in the afternoon, maybe a couple in the morning as well, low 90s. And it looks like most of next week is going to be basically low 90s instead of going up a little bit more. And I think we may actually have a slightly better chance for a few showers perhaps later in the week. Details coming up. Time saver traffic right now. Here is Officer Marcus Trujillo. Anything going on yet, sir?
Well, Mike, as we take a look at the roadways, so far things look pretty good. Now, you are giving folks a heads up that possible moisture out there, but so far 410 at 151 looking pretty good. 281 winding way north and southbound lanes. Can't really tell if those cars are slowing down or not, but no signs of it there. I-10 at Woodlawn as we continue. There's 35, 1604. We do have that ongoing construction. Just remember, slow down for those construction zones. Make sure you give it enough space and make sure you buckle up before you head out. Mark?
Thank you, Marcus. A disturbance escalates to shots fired on the city's northeast side last night. Police were called out to the 4800 block of Castle Sword, not far from Ritterman at I-35, just before 11 o'clock last night. Our Alicia Beretta is live downtown with what police are looking into this morning. Alicia?
Good morning, Mark. Well, we know that one person was critically injured with 2 gunshot wounds. Police are going to want to speak to that victim later on today, but they're also looking into what this disturbance was about and who that shooter could be. Police were dispatched last night around 11 to this neighborhood on the northeast side of town. Once police arrived to Castle Sword Drive, things had already become much more violent. Police say several rounds were fired by the suspect after an altercation took place, striking the victim at least twice. Officers say the victim is a man in his 20s who was shot in the upper chest and was taken to BAMC, where he remains in critical condition. And here's what police know about the suspect. No arrests have been made, but they did receive some information that says that the suspect possibly took off in a black truck, possibly an F-150. Reporting live, Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Alicia. Teachers across Bexar County looking at new safety protocols when they do return to the classroom. Now, teachers with the San Antonio Alliance Union say those who will have face-to-face contact with students need to be included in the district's back-to-school plan. Teachers say with small classrooms, some of which are overcrowded, they already have a list of issues on their plate. Governor Abbott says masks and health screenings will not be mandated by the state, but districts will have that option.
Ultimately, we are putting our entire community at risk if we are not prepared to prioritize health and safety. And so really, we have an opportunity as a community to come together and hold ourselves to a higher standard than the governor is holding us to.
SAISD and any ISD say they are working on a plan, but they're waiting on directives from the Texas Education Agency. The TEA protocols are expected to be released next Tuesday. Some districts say just because the governor will not mandate masks or health screenings does not mean their plan will not include that.
Summer camps are in full swing, and some parents may be wondering whether they should send their kids. YMCA summer camps have put safety protocols in place and say parents shouldn't worry. At the YMCA summer camps at Thousand Oaks, parents and visitors are not allowed inside. From the moment parents arrive at the facility, there are guidelines they must follow.
We have to take their temperature, the child's temperature, before they enter our facility. Parents have to sanitize before they sign them in. And then after that, they're allowed to come into the facility.
She says they are constantly deep cleaning spaces around the facility. They are following CDC guidelines and will continue to update their rules as the situation changes. YMCA says it's only been requiring staff to wear masks. Right now, they're working through the logistical details of the new Bexar County executive order.
Even though they are part of the criminal justice system, juvenile courts operate under a unique set of laws, and the problems created in those courts by COVID-19 are unique as well.
Paul Venema has a look at those problems and how they're being handled, and one judge's innovative approach.
This empty courtroom, like those in the courthouse complex downtown, is the result of COVID-19.
Oh man, it's had a huge impact on our system.
With few exceptions, everything is done remote. That means the process runs slower.
It has a huge impact because a lot of our kids aren't going to understand, or they're not going to be able to process, why it's taking so long.
Limited in-person hearings are now allowed as Quesada and his juvenile court colleagues begin to deal with a backlog created during the court system's 3-month shutdown.
There's going to be a huge backlog, and then even now that we're talking about opening up the courts, you have to understand that we're only opening up to, maybe 5-6 cases a day. So no video games, but you're playing with your iPhone.
Quesada's interaction with the juveniles, he calls them his kids, isn't limited to the courtroom. He set up this drive-by in the parking lot.
Okay, got it. Congratulations. You've been doing good?
Allowing juveniles assigned to one of 3 specialty courts to report in.
You're doing a great job, guys. Keep going. You just try to talk to them and just, you give your 2-bit cents, whatever you learn growing up, and hopefully it sticks. So just a little bit. So hopefully you make a little impact on their lives. Best thing you need is a baby right now. You understand that?
Sort of like a father figure, he says.
Oh, I miss him. I miss all of them.
Paul Venema, KSAT 12 News.
507, 78 degrees.
And are you ready to take a ride into space? Not me. We're going to tell you about a new company that's trying to make space tourism more popular.
And today is Juneteenth. We're taking a closer look at this holiday that communities across the country commemorate every year.
And taking a look outside with Live Cam. Happy Friday, guys. Enjoy this morning. We're at 78 degrees. We're going to check in with Mike to see about those rain chances for the rest of the day. We'll be right back.
In case you missed it, KSAT launched a new digital news program this week. KSAT Explains will drop once a week and offer perspective on stories we bring you in our newscasts throughout the day.
The first episode focused on the recent protests we've seen across the country and in our city against racism and inequality. We're going to give you a preview this morning.
Again, today is Juneteenth, a holiday that communities across the country celebrate every year. But as our KSAT Explains anchor Myra Arthur tells us, some say it is a day marked by sadness.
In September 1862, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, an executive order declaring all slaves in the U.S. be freed, effective January 1st, 1863. But it took 2.5 years before enslaved people in Texas were told the news.
It all started because, unfortunately, the slaves here in Texas did not know that they had been freed.
On June 19, 1865, Union soldiers arrived in Galveston to announce the end of the war and to enforce President Lincoln's executive order. The first Juneteenth celebration can be traced back to June 19th, 1 year later.
Juneteenth is a period of time in which we come together in order to celebrate African Americans' freedom and independence, of freedom.
In 1980, Texas became the first state to recognize Juneteenth as an official state holiday. Texas would later be joined by 46 other states and Washington, D.C. And while it's a day of celebration, civil rights experts say it's important to note that the holiday's history is complicated because for so many, liberation took even longer.
It was a day of hope, but it was also a day of despair because even after it was announced, slave owners in Texas refused to let people leave the plantation. In some cases, those who said, "I'm free now and I'm going to leave," were shot in the back as they were leaving the plantation. Freedom was never truly enforced.
And again, this is part of our first episode of our digital show, KSAT Explains.
It is available to watch right now on KSAT.com or the KSAT TV app, available on Roku, Fire Stick, and most other smart TV devices.
Look for us there. Also tune into KSAT.com later this afternoon at 2:30 for a special live stream with Dr. Carrie Lattimore, a professor of African American Studies at Trinity University. Steve Spriester will interview Lattimore about race relations in the U.S. and in San Antonio and the historical importance of Juneteenth. Look for that again this afternoon, 2:30 sharp. It's 5:13, 78 degrees on your Friday morning.
And still ahead, one of the year's biggest family films has a new home on streaming. We're going to tell you where you can watch the latest Scooby-Doo movie this weekend.
And we'll tell you about a new company that wants to get into the commercial space tourism business.
I wanted more from my COPD medicine. That's why I've got the power of 1, 2, 3 medicines with Trelegy. The only FDA-approved once daily 3-in-1 COPD treatment.
Trelegy, the power of 1, 2, 3. Trelegy, 1, 2, 3. Trelegy.
With Trelegy and the power of 1, 2, 3, I'm breathing better. Trelegy works 3 ways to open airways, keep them open, and reduce inflammation for 24 hours of better breathing.
Trelegy won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Trelegy is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Do not take Trelegy more than prescribed. Trelegy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
Think your COPD medicine is doing enough? Maybe you should think again.
Ask your doctor about once daily Trelegy. We know times are hard, and we're here for you. Find support at Trelegy.com.
In today's Tech Bites, a new company is venturing into space tourism. They're planning to offer flights in a capsule lifted to the upper edge of the Earth's atmosphere by a high-altitude balloon. The first flights are expected to launch in 3 years and cost about $125,000 a person. The scooter company Lime is expanding its subscription service. It's going to include daily and monthly passes in an effort to lock up customers in a competitive marketplace. Prices will vary by location. It's believed a daily pass will cost around $15. And the latest consequence of the pandemic, we're running low on coins. The Federal Reserve chief says with so many stores still closed, people aren't breaking bills, leaving banks short change. But once the economy is back in full swing, the coin supply should be replenished. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a good Juneteenth.
Right now on KSAT.com, check out the story about one dad who has gone viral for creating a YouTube Dad Advice channel. Rob Kinney creates videos that feature tutorials on how to do all kinds of things from unclogging a bathtub to how to iron a dress shirt. Some have begun to call him the Mr. Rogers for adults. In his videos, Kinney hits every topic that a father figure might be expected to get right, including some dad jokes. We have links up now to some of his videos, and you can see his most recent video as well. This is all on our website. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Going to talk to Mike about your weekend forecast in just a second.
But for now, let's go ahead and check traffic. The roads weren't too busy earlier, right, Marcus?
Not too busy, Stephanie. We really don't expect them to get too busy this morning. That's because as we take a look at the roadways right now, everything's still in the green. Let's move over to TransGuide. This is I-10, 410. Over on the east side, you can see traveling both directions along I-10 looking pretty good with no problems there. 1604 at Medio Creek. As we move a little bit closer to the downtown vicinity, I-10 and Woodlawn there, you can see both the upper and lower decks moving along fairly well. Mike's getting a picture ready that resembles a windmill of sorts. Right now, Highway 90 at Medio Creek, you can see that east and westbound lanes still moving along nicely. Still have some construction trucks there in that center median, but it shouldn't slow you down.
Hang tight before we get to the windmill smoker over here.
Right.
How long have you worked here, Mike?
25 years.
How long have our cameras been robotic and spin on their own suddenly? And
Well, how long have we had those things? 10 years?
I know it's been a while, but it just scared the bejesus out of you, didn't it?
I was standing right by the corner of the desk right there, and this cat, I'm sorry, it just startled me a little
Robots
bit.
taking over.
Scaredy cat. Anywho, yeah, another beautiful picture. That's not a windmill.
Right.
No, but like you said,
But it does look kind of you know, it's got,
but
a wheel.
it's
It's got a wheel on it.
Kind of in the same thing. I mean, just that old kind of rusty.
You can smell the brisket.
Oh,
It's timely for Father's Day.
Time to smoke something.
yeah, and just what a great picture. That's fantastic. Thank you very much for that. And if you're going to be outside this weekend, it's going to be humid, so lots of water, lots of sunscreen, lots of shade. We've got, speaking of humid, oh goodness gracious, you can just kind of see the humidity hanging over town right now. And we do have some showers, and what's interesting is, why, as this loops back the past couple of hours, there wasn't much, and these have been developing as time has gone on this morning. And even a couple of decent downpours here and there, over there on the northwest side, over by Helotes maybe, and then going up 281 right in toward 1604, right there, maybe toward Redland Road, a decent shower, and then 410 over there by probably about maybe Bandera Road, something close to between Bandera and 10, and these are all kind of sliding up to the north. A lot of this is kind of ground clutter in here that doesn't move, but you can see some of those little spots, and we will continue to see more of these showers that are going to be developing later throughout the rest of the morning, and then of course later on this afternoon, and a couple more down here. So it's a stream of moisture coming on in here from the Gulf of Mexico, and that's what's producing these, and that's what the computer models are indicating. And they're going to be scattered about, few and far between, but you may run into a couple of damp spots this morning as well as later on this afternoon. Then they will be dying down once the sun goes down, and we will do it all over again tomorrow. And more scattered showers around. Same thing on Sunday. Temperatures are, well, actually up a little bit compared to yesterday. Right now we're 5 degrees above normal as compared to a couple of days ago. We were about 3 below normal. We started off at 70 on Wednesday, but we're not going to be seeing that anytime soon. 79 right now, Castroville. And actually, dew point temperatures, measure moisture in the atmosphere, these numbers are up. So that's why, especially around, from Randolph over toward Castroville, Helotes, yeah, that's just walking into a wall of water, basically, when you step outside. And even though dew points drop a little bit in the afternoons, not much. So therefore, we will have heat index readings that are going to be upper 90s and low hundreds throughout the rest of not only today, but also the next couple of days, and low hundreds there along the Rio Grande Valley. And going back in time, again, we had some of those showers yesterday, and now more of them are coming on in here later on today. Not any big storm systems, but just the fact that we've got all that moisture coming on in here, and it gets sort of squeezed out. 86 degrees today at noon. Partly cloudy, a couple of showers, maybe a thunderstorm here or there. Any downpours won't last very long. You could get one of those, brief, heavy tropical downpours. 93 for a high temperature today, although it will feel like it's in the upper 90s. And again, low hundreds over there toward the Rio Grande Valley. Tomorrow, summer begins in the afternoon, about 4:30 or so. And it's going to feel like summer. That's the normal high temperature, 93. And temperatures, even going into next week, I know the past couple of days been saying how it was going to get warmer, like mid-90s by the middle of the week. And now there's a little bit of a difference in that. It looks like we may actually have a slightly better chance for a couple of showers by Wednesday, Thursday of next week. And temperatures staying about low 90s.
Okay, again, beware of the cameras. They do turn on their own. So I don't want you to get, knocked out by a camera.
Well, it's like if somebody sneaks up behind you, you're like, whoa, so the camera. So.
That's never, ever happened before. See, it just moved right now.
I know.
That was out of my peripheral vision.
It's on camera right now.
You're talking about that one.
A little
over there,
jumpy right now, but it could be the caffeine. 523, 78 degrees.
And coming up next, the newest Scooby-Doo movie has a brand new home on streaming. We're going to tell you where you can watch it this weekend.
526, there's plenty of movie news today, including a unique and growing film challenge that was delayed by the coronavirus.
CNN's David Daniel has that and more in the Hollywood Minute.
Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge, Home Edition. Not even COVID-19 can stop the Disability Film Challenge. The genre this year is documentary, shot safely at home, of course, with all the same great prizes at stake as always. The short film contest, aimed at changing how disability is viewed, runs July 14th to 19th, and registration is open now. Info at disabilityfilmchallenge.com.
I'm here with the Globe. I'm writing an article on an Operation Goliath. You can either tell me what really happened, or you can squander this precious opportunity.
I'd be very careful before I print anything about this case.
Or what?
Don't want you to get hurt.
Here's your first look at Most Wanted, starring Josh Hartnett as a journalist investigating a drug case in Thailand involving a fall guy and crooked undercover cops. The thriller, based on a true story, debuts in theaters and on demand July 24th.
Scoob, do you realize where we are?
No.
Scoob went from a planned theatrical release to video on demand when the coronavirus hit. Now the animated adventure has found another home, HBO Max. The streaming service also features original Scooby-Doo TV episodes, so it's a perfect place to let the movie's figurative fur fly. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
The Scoobs is back. 527, 78 degrees.
And still ahead in our next half hour, new details about an attempted escape at New York's Rikers Island.
Plus, we're taking you to Machu Picchu, Peruvian Grill off Bandera Road here in San Antonio for this week's Flavor Fave. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. It is June 19th.
Thanks for joining us. And if you're expecting some rain, maybe you'll get lucky today. Maybe.
Here's Mike with a quick update how things are looking here at the bottom of the hour.
Well, some folks are seeing a little bit of rain as of right now, but one thing we're all seeing, look at the humidity just hanging over the area like it was a couple of days ago. And we've got a few of these showers that have been popping up, and they've also been kind of developing a few more of them here and there over the past couple of hours. There was basically nothing just a couple of hours ago. And now we've got even a moderate little downpour here and there, one crossing 90, a couple of them on the northwest side of town and the north and northwest side of town, and then more developing down here to the southeast. So we'll continue to see more of these throughout the rest of this morning. And temperatures are actually up compared to yesterday. 79 right now in Castroville, 78 at the airport, and the humidity, these dew point temperatures, they are up as well. And when you get mid-70s, yes, it is humid in all capital letters out there. Mold, pigweed, and grass are all on the low side. And throughout the rest of today, we will see 86 degrees at noon. Pretty much the same temperature profile as yesterday. We'll top off at 93. That's a normal high. That's the great thing about this forecast is temperatures are definitely being held in check right about normal. So we have a lot of humidity out there, so we're not seeing just outrageously high heat index readings. Yes, it does. It's going to feel like the upper 90s and low hundreds in some places, but yeah, nothing really just off the charts. And we will have one or two of those scattered showers or thunderstorms later on today. Details of the weekend coming up. Time saver traffic right now. Here is Officer Marcus Trujillo. What's going on, sir?
Well, so far still quiet out there, Mike, and hopefully it stays that way for the rest of the morning commute. Let's take a look out there. I-10 Hildebrand so far, no issues there, and 410 Ingram travel in both directions on the inner loop, moving great all the way around the Highway 151 and 410. As we take a look, Highway 90 at Medio Creek, east and westbound lanes moving along, but we still have those construction lights in that grassy median. So don't forget to buckle up as you head out this morning. Stephanie?
Thank you, Marcus. And today we celebrate Juneteenth. This is the day we celebrate the announcement in Galveston that the Civil War was over and that all slaves were free. Our Sarah Costa is live downtown with how our city is celebrating.
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. Well, our city, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, our city and across the country will be celebrating virtually. But don't worry, if you head to KSAT.com right now, we have a full list of several virtual events happening across the city and the country. Just take a look right now. So one of them is UTSA's Student Union will be hosting an online panel discussion with the African American Studies and Multicultural Student Center for Equity. That virtual conversation will happen at 11 a.m. Now, Hudson-Tillotson University in Austin will be hosting a virtual event that will focus on ancestry and genealogy. And there are several more events listed on KSAT.com right now. Now, KSAT is also celebrating Juneteenth with a live interview that will be streaming on KSAT.com on our app. That starts at 2:30. Our very own Steve Spriester will be interviewing Dr. Carrie Lattimore, who's a professor of African American Studies at Trinity University. He will discuss race relations in San Antonio and in the U.S. and the historical importance of Juneteenth. Now, also streaming right now on KSAT TV is our new series. It is exploring African American history that's usually left untold. And you can find that right now on KSAT, on our KSAT TV app. And how you download that is on your smartphone or on any of your TV streaming devices. You can download that KSAT TV. It's called History Untold. It is a really great, interesting series, and it comes out weekly. Reporting live from downtown, I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News. Mark and Stephanie.
To other news this morning, President Trump heads to the Sooner State for a weekend campaign rally.
As CNN's John Lawrence reports, tens of thousands of people are expected to attend, and that has some health officials concerned.
Keep America great. Gotta stick to our guns.
President Trump gets back on the campaign trail, and some of his supporters have been waiting in line for days.
The eyes of the world is upon Tulsa, Oklahoma, during this event, and we are ready for it.
The president's rally will be inside the BOK Center on Saturday.
That's a tremendous honor for our city to be highlighted in that way, and I'm very grateful that the president would select Tulsa to highlight in that way.
Several people are worried the event will spread coronavirus.
Tulsa just had a record number of cases. In the last week, the number of COVID-19 cases in Tulsa is up 111%.
Tulsa's health director, Bruce Dart, told the Tulsa World newspaper that he wishes the rally was postponed until the threat eases.
The potential for the virus to take off there is very, very nerve-wracking and could have catastrophic consequences.
Those who have registered have agreed not to sue the Trump campaign and other entities if they catch the virus.
If you don't feel well, don't go. If you have a fever, don't go.
Those who attend will have their temperatures taken before they enter. They will be given hand sanitizer and masks, but no mandate to wear them. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Puerto Rico is hoping to be a hotspot for tourism once again. Its governor announced they will begin a third phase of economic reopening this week. That includes reopening the U.S. territory's recreation and tourism industry. The government wants it ready to welcome travelers by July 15th. According to the governor, a strict set of health and safety standards will be in place to control the spread of COVID-19.
While the pandemic has some people staying in, the wildlife is coming out. A mountain lion was spotted on the streets of San Francisco this week. Security cameras captured the animal wandering around near a TV news station. According to biologists, the mountain lion is not an adult lion. She says it most likely came from the open space south of San Francisco and could have been on the prowl for rodents or small pets. The biologists described the animal as shy and not a threat to humans.
Wow, right there in the parking lot by those news units.
Oh my goodness.
In the city.
Can you imagine?
I know, right?
Going to your car.
You'd be like, everybody, come here. Do we put this on the news? Yeah, we put this on the news.
Definitely.
537, 78 degrees.
And still ahead in this week's Flavor Phase, we're taking you to Machu Picchu Peruvian Grill and showing off their unique menu items for you to try.
And next, some corrections officers being hailed heroes after an attempted jailbreak at New York's infamous Rikers Island.
And taking a look outside with live cam, we're here. We're going to get some scattered showers, but no reason to ruin your Father's Day weekend. We're going to check in with Mike to see what you can expect throughout today and the rest of your weekend.
Now to an attempted escape at one of the most infamous jails in the entire country.
ABC's Alex Prochet shows us how it all unfolded on Rikers Island.
This morning, new details about an attempted escape at New York's Rikers Island. Authorities say the inmate was in the recreational area when he climbed a fence, dove into the river, trying to make a swim for it, heading towards LaGuardia Airport. Two correctional officers nearby saw the attempted escape and dove in after him.
Our officers, was able to prevent this inmate from escaping. So we are a very significant part of public safety.
the inmate caught and brought back into custody. And those 2 corrections officers seen here drying up are now being hailed as heroes.
Our officers are still, subjected to assault. They're still subjected to having urine and feces thrown on them. But today, we were able to do something to protect the public from this guy going back on the street.
The correction officers weren't seriously injured, but did receive treatment for minor injuries to their legs. Alex Brachet, ABC News, Washington.
Moving right along on your Friday morning. Right now it's 5:41, 78 degrees.
And coming up next, AMC has finally released a date of when it will start reopening its theaters, but there are some limitations you need to know about before heading back to the movies. And welcome back. It's 5:44. In your morning consumer headlines, AMC says it plans to reopen 600 movie theaters next month. The chain says it will move in stages and be fully operational by July 24th. AMC says it will reduce seating capacity, implement new cleaning procedures, and limit concessions. We have one here, right here in San Antonio at River Center Mall. Other cinema companies, including Cinemark, are also planning to reopen.
Need a job? McDonald's is beefing up staff for summer. The fast food chain says it's hiring 260,000 people for full and part-time roles. It comes as McDonald's prepares to reopen dining rooms. In May, McDonald's laid out the new safety precautions it'll put in place. Employees have to wear personal protective equipment and wash their hands every hour. As for customers, they will see stickers on floors encouraging social distancing, blocked off tables, and more self-serve drinks. More and more, we're hearing about struggling restaurants here in town. That's why Flavor Faves is back to show you what's still open and serving great food.
This week, our Erica Hernandez takes us to Machu Picchu Peruvian Grill off Bandera Road.
For the past year and a half, Machu Picchu Peruvian Grill has wowed customers with their flavorful, authentic dishes like pollo a la brasa and lomo saltado. Neptor Gudiel has been working hard with his staff to keep orders rolling out and serving food that it isn't very common for San Antonio.
The most popular is going to be the lomo saltado and ceviche, and make it with fish, onions, cilantro, and cook it with the lime juice.
And just like other restaurants here in town, Machu Picchu Peruvian Grill also suffering because of COVID-19. At one point, they almost shut down.
It's a little tough for us. I was thinking to close it up, the restaurant, like 3 weeks ago.
And Neptor goes on to tell us that it was his loyal customers who called and convinced him to stay open.
And then customers started calling us, please don't close, don't close. So I told my wife, let's do this. Let's see how they're gonna survive it.
While there has been a small uptick in dine-in customers, it's still not enough.
I don't think we can survive it another month. They have no business inside.
Machu Picchu Peruvian Grill is open Tuesday through Saturday. The hope is that this hidden gem can continue to keep its doors open, serving great food. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Well, it is Father's Day weekend, and Stephanie is here. And every once in a while, we joke about her husband, Luis, who happens to be a photographer at KSAT. And it is Luis's Father's Day weekend.
Yes, and we're going to tell you what we did for Luis because he is asleep right now. So my little girl and I, she was working on a little project. So that is a rock she is painting. And I gave her, I'm cheating. So those are Sharpie paints.
Nice.
So that way they're more, easier for her to maneuver. And it started as a heart, but that's her own artwork. So I didn't question her. She's like, yeah, I'm doing a heart. And then on the other side, she put, of course, from Rooney, she starts with herself, to Daddy.
That's a great custom gift idea. Somebody asked me for some ideas out there, not necessarily for me, but here are some things that I thought of. We're going to be wearing masks for a while. So one of the things I was thinking about was unique face masks. And you may not be able to go out and get these today for the weekend, but maybe find some from your favorite sports teams. I've got one now for the Spurs, which is washable. Also, I think great ideas, a bottle of Texas-made wine, or particularly liquor, like a whiskey or something like that.
How did you lower your voice?
Grill accessories accessories are always a winner, I think, for dads. And of course, wireless earbuds, because most of us are doing Zoom or Skype or FaceTime.
That is true.
In this new normal. I do a Zoom call with my family every Wednesday night. Get to see my sister and my mom and dad in North Carolina.
So these would be great gifts.
Yeah, so it'd be great. Yeah, so the wireless earbuds. I mean, wireless used to be really pricey, and now they're really easy and cheap to get.
Well, I have to say that I've followed your advice in years past for those last two, and it's been a success for me.
Grill accessories and the...
Yeah, I recommend the liquor.
Well, well, there's that.
There's a picture when the two little squirrels were just itty bitties. That's Jack on the left and Ty on the right. And I'm trying to think, how old were they? Ty was just
sweet.
Well, what's great is you've got them there, Mike, and then you also have them on your tie today when they were itty bitty little dudes.
Yeah, we took, my wife found this. Oh, this is actually just a couple of years ago. Now Ty is actually taller than me, and Jack's about almost 6'3". So Ty was getting ready to go to their.
You guys growing tall there at the Oster Day.
Goodness.
Jack was going to a prom dance. Yeah.
Oh, well, happy Father's
They're
Day.
big guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yes. Get their good looks from their mother. So.
Well.
Oh, you too. Yes.
Let's check in now with another dad, and that would be Officer Marcus Trujillo. You've got some relaxing weekend plans, Marcus?
Yes, indeed. And right now, pretty relaxing time out there on the roadway. So nothing that should delay you if you're headed out. Take a look. 1604 looking pretty good. I-10 at 410, the interchange. Not too bad. There's a little bit of sheen there, but I think that's just the reflection from the lights. I don't really think that it's damp up there just yet, but it could be. So you want to use caution out there. 151 and 410 looking pretty good.
Yeah, there are a couple of showers that have been kind of popping up on radar. And do we have any more?
I think it's to you, straight to you now.
Straight to me now?
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Or we can just stay on that picture of Marcus. You want to just be in a picture, Marcus?
Is there a windmill?
Hey, here's a great shot. This is a beautiful, beautiful shot. This is from Castroville, and the clouds, I gotta look over this way, sorry, so I can read that. The clouds these past few days were stunning. I never get tired of shooting sunsets. They're always unique and never disappoint. Amen to that. That's a beautiful, beautiful picture. Thank you very much for that. This picture's not quite as great because we got a lot of humidity sitting on top of us. There's also a couple of showers out there. It's just basically this moisture sort of coming on in here, and pretty much as it almost hits the escarpment is what it's forcing it up in the air and causing some of these little streamer showers around here. A couple of decent downpours as well, Castroville, and then on the northwest side of town, and then right down 10 in toward 410 and right around the Bandera area. So there may be, like Marcus was saying, a couple of damp spots on the roads. And then this batch, a decent downpour right there on 35 down by 410, and that is sliding up to the north as well. And we'll see a few more of these throughout the rest of the morning, as well as even later on this afternoon, which computer models are picking up very well. And it was the same situation yesterday. It's going to be the same situation then tomorrow and really in through next week. And actually, I think we may see a couple of better chances, perhaps, as it looks right now, by maybe Wednesday, Thursday of next week. But we'll go through the same pattern day in, day out with the chance for some showers around here. 77 in town, 79 Castroville, and then these are the numbers that really matter with dew points 74s, 75s on the map. Helotes, Port SA, Stinson, Castroville, and heat index readings later on today are going to be, even though temperatures are going to be held in check, close to normal, which is a blessing, but we will have all the moisture out there. So heat index reading is going to be mid-upper 90s and low hundreds around the Rio Grande Valley. So definitely lots of water, lots of shade if you are outside today, and of course sunscreen. 86 degrees, partly cloudy, a couple of showers, maybe a thunderstorm still hanging around from this morning, and then more going to try and develop later on this afternoon. Anything that does pop up, it's pretty much going to be dying down once the sun goes down later on this evening. 93 for a high temperature, but of course it will feel warmer than that. Same thing tomorrow. Summer begins officially late in the afternoon, and then, of course, Sunday, Father's Day. Temperatures are very steady, very consistent all the way across the board, and a couple of computer models are starting to differ just a little bit as far as temperatures late next week. There's actually one of them that has us only staying in the 80s next week, low or upper 80s, but I think a better rain chance by Wednesday, Thursday.
Stay right there. Look at that camera real quick.
Close-up.
We're going to show the tie. There they are. Aww.
Very nice.
That's the gift that keeps on giving, right, Mike?
I remember they were out at a playground right there, and my wife found this website that turned that into a
That's great.
tie. So.
Yep.
What a great memory.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
That's awesome.
5:53, 77 degrees.
And coming up next, a popular spin off of the Pokemon video game franchise getting a new version for a new generation of gamers and gaming hardware.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, our ABC News exclusive with former National Security Advisor John Bolton. He's responding to President Trump's attacks as we learn new details from that bombshell book of his. Why he fears a second Trump term as both sides get set to fight over the future of his book in front of a judge. It's all coming up right here on GMA.
Nintendo is giving a classic video game a 21st century upgrade with its surprise announcement of new Pokemon Snap for the Nintendo Switch. The game's genre is first-person rail shooter, only you aren't shooting weapons, but photographs. Players travel to islands taking pictures of Pokemon in their natural habitats and are scored on the quality of their photos. Rewind to 1999 when the original Pokemon Snap arrived for the Nintendo 64 console. The game even featured a tie-in with Blockbuster video stores where players could print out stickers of photos captured in-game. Gamers have waited more than 2 decades and 4 generations of Nintendo home consoles for a follow-up to the popular game. Nintendo's surprise announcement didn't include a release date, so budding Poketographers will have to be patient for their chance to catch them all on film. Leveling up in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Still ahead on Good Morning San Antonio on your Friday morning. Today is Juneteenth, and our next hour we're taking a look at how the day is being commemorated locally as well as its importance in Texas history. Trans Guide right now, there's 10 eastbound at Loop 410 looking good. We'll check back in with Officer Marcus Trujillo and another look at your extended weekend forecast with meteorologist Mike Osterhage. Grab a cup of coffee. We'll be right back. Yeah, it's Osterhage, not Easterhage.
An argument leads to shots fired in the city's northeast side, leaving one person critically injured. Just ahead on GMSA, what police know now about the suspect.
A man's in the hospital after a late-night fight went too far. We'll tell you what San Antonio police know about the incident.
And taking a live look outside with live cam. Drop down to 77 degrees, just 1 degree. So not too bad outside right now. We're going to check in with Mike to see what we can expect for your Father's Day weekend.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Hey, good morning. It is Friday. It is June 19th.
Thanks for joining us this morning and happy Friday. Enjoy this morning. We're going to get a little bit of rain.
We are. There is a chance out there as we work our way into the Father's Day weekend. We check in now with the poster boy for Father's Day, and that would be meteorologist Mike Osterhage. Well, you're the one wearing the awesome tie with the 2 kiddos on it.
Aww.
They look great.
Very appropriate.
My little ones when they were actually still little ones. Now
Yeah.
they're just big old boys, so. But
both taller than you now.
Yes.
Yes.
Both are taller than me now.
And you said they got their mom's good looks?
Got their mom's good looks, of course.
Yours too, Mike.
You're sweet, Stephanie. So I'll give you $1 later. So anyway, we've got a lot of humidity hanging around here, and we're talking about some of the rain. We do have a few of these showers that have popped up. Obviously, they're few and far between, but in a couple of spots there. 10 over on the east side, and then also just on the west side of town, everything is kind of sliding up to the north, and a few decent downpours here and there. So you may get, again, a very brief, good little tropical shower. They won't last all that long, and we'll continue to have some of these just scattered showers around the area throughout the rest of the morning. So if you are heading in on 90 and even around 410, then going up 10 in towards 1604. Watch out for a few of those wet spots on the road this morning. 77 in town, as Stephanie mentioned, 79 Castroville, mid-70s hill country, so everybody's well above normal. We're about 4 or 5 degrees above normal right now, and there is a lot of humidity out there when you get dew points well up into not only the 70s, but 74 and above. That's that's really pushing things. Mold and pigweed and grass are all on the light side this morning. Temperatures will stay basically steady throughout the rest of the day. We are going to be seeing temperatures get up into the about low 90s later on. We will have a lot of humidity out there, so at least temperatures will be close to normal, but the humidity is going to make it feel hotter than that. Pretty much more of the same over the weekend. Details in just a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now. And Officer Marcus Trujillo. Anything going on? Nothing, but just looking at the map, nothing.
It looks pretty good, so we're off to a great start for Friday morning. Hopefully this continues throughout the rest of the morning commute. Let's take a look at a couple of TransGuide cameras right there. I-10 at Hoyer Road, so far no issues there. And as you move on through Bernie Stage, Ralph Fair Road, all looking pretty good right now. So we're getting slight increases in traffic on those eastbound lanes, main lanes, or the westbound lanes rather, not too bad. This is I-10, 410 over on the east side. Roadways look a little damp there, so you want to make sure you put both hands on the wheel, put away those distractions this morning. Mark and Stephanie.
Thanks, Marcus. See you in a bit. Late night altercation ends in gunfire on the city's northeast side.
Police were dispatched to a disturbance in the 4800 block of Castle Sword Drive near I-35 in Rinneman around 11 last night.
Alicia Pedetta live with the latest information from police this morning. Alicia, has a suspect been identified yet?
Good morning. Well, not yet. Police say that suspect may have taken off in a black F-150 just after shooting that victim and leaving the victim critically injured. Police say that person who was injured is a man in his 20s. And again, police this morning are still looking for that shooter. According to preliminary information provided at the scene from officers, the victim was involved in an altercation with the shooter just before 11 last night. The argument escalated and the suspect pulled out a gun and fired his weapon, shooting the victim at least twice. By the time police arrived to the northeast side neighborhood, the suspect had already taken off. The victim had gunshot wounds to the upper chest and was taken to BAMC Hospital. Police say that the victim remains in critical condition at BAMC Hospital. And once the victim is stable, they were wanting to speak to him to figure out more information, what that disturbance was about, and possibly help identify the shooter. Reporting live, Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Alicia. Also new this morning, a man cut after a fight went too far. Police say that man was fighting with someone across the street from the Circle K in the 4700 block of Pecan Valley when he was cut on the arm. He told police he ran into the store to call for help. He was then transported to University Hospital. Police say he was not being cooperative in the investigation.
We have the latest numbers of COVID-19 here in Bexar County. The total number since the pandemic started now stands at 5,550. There are more than 3,000 people fighting the illness, but more than 2,000 have recovered. The number of deaths has increased by 2 for a total of 92. As the caseload rises, the city is looking to hire help. Metro Health looking to fill more than 70 temporary positions. Those listings are on the city's website.
A reminder, there are walk-up, pop-up testing sites that are rotating each week. Metro Health will have free testing at Burbank High School and Jordan Middle School this week. The walk-up testing will continue today and Saturday. That's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Each site will test 175 people per day at each location, but they plan to add testing also next week.
Bexar County will be distributing 1 million masks to local businesses next week. Each will be getting 100 masks to help follow the new county executive order that requires customers wear facial coverings while entering a local business. Online registration starts today at 9, but masks will only be available to those who pre-register for the event. Each business will receive 100 and will be distributed on a first-come, first-served basis. The masks will be given out next Wednesday at Freeman Coliseum and on Saturday the 27th at the Bibliotech South location. Business owners will need to bring their confirmation email. To register, you can visit bear.org.
Right now on KSAT.com, teachers across Bexar County are expressing concern about how they return to the classroom. Teachers with the San Antonio Alliance Union say those who will have face-to-face contact with students need to be included in the district's back-to-school planning. Teachers say with small classrooms, some of which are overcrowded, they already have a list of issues on their plate. Governor Greg Abbott says mask and health screenings will not be mandated by the state, but districts will have the option to implement them.
In your other morning headlines, despite the heat, the growing risk of coronavirus, supporters for President Donald Trump are camping outside an arena in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where the president will be holding his first campaign rally in months this weekend. The president's rally will be inside the BOK Center in Tulsa tomorrow. Those who have registered have agreed not to sue the campaign and other entities if they get sick. They will be given hand sanitizer and masks, but not mandated to wear them.
Amy Klobuchar is dropping out of vice presidential contention and urging Democrat Joe Biden to select a woman of color instead. The Minnesota senator said yesterday on MSNBC that she called the presumptive presidential nominee Wednesday night and made that suggestion. She says it would be a step Biden could take to help, quote, heal this nation, end quote. Some of the top contenders Biden could pick for vice president are California Senator Kamala Harris, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, and Florida Representative Val Demings.
Right now it is 6:07, 77 degrees.
Still ahead on GMSA, flying into space in a capsule. Details on what a new company is trying to achieve for the future of space tourism.
Today is Juneteenth, a holiday that communities across the country have started to celebrate. We've been doing it here in Texas for a while. Next on GMSA, KSAT Explains anchor Myra Arthur tells us some say it is a day that is marked by sadness.
Taking a look outside at downtown San Antonio with a live cam. Not raining here for now, but we're expecting some chances here and there. We're going to check in with Mike later in this newscast. We'll be right back.
Just about 12 minutes past the hour. In case you missed it, KSAT launched a new digital news program this week. KSAT Explains will drop once a week and offer in-depth perspective on stories we bring you right here in our newscasts throughout the day.
The first episode focused on the recent protests we've seen across the country and in our city against racism and inequality. We're going to give you a preview this morning.
Today is Juneteenth, a holiday that communities across the country have been celebrating every year. It's considered the oldest known celebration commemorating the end of slavery in the United States.
But as KSAT anchor Myra Arthur explained, some say it's a day marked by sadness as well.
In September 1862, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, an executive order declaring all slaves in the U.S. be freed, effective January 1st, 1863. But it took 2.5 years before enslaved people in Texas were told the news.
It all started because, unfortunately, the slaves here in Texas did not know that they had been freed.
On June 19, 1865, Union soldiers arrived in Galveston to announce the end of the war and to enforce President Lincoln's executive order. The first Juneteenth celebration can be traced back to June 19th, 1 year later.
Juneteenth is a period of time in which we come together in order to celebrate African Americans' freedom and independence of freedom.
In 1980, Texas became the first state to recognize Juneteenth as an official state holiday. Texas would later be joined by 46 other states and Washington, D.C. And while it's a day of celebration, civil rights experts say it's important to note that the holiday's history is complicated because for so many, liberation took even longer.
It was a day of hope, but it was also a day of despair because even after it was announced, slave owners in Texas refused to let people leave the plantation. In some cases, those who said, I'm free now and I'm going to leave, were shot in the back as they were leaving the plantation. Freedom was never truly enforced.
And again, this is a part of the first episode of our digital show, KSAT Explains.
It's available to watch right now on KSAT.com or the KSAT TV app, which is available on Roku, Fire Stick, and most other smart TV devices.
Also, we want to remind you that today we will be live streaming an interview with Dr. Carrie Lattimore, a professor of African American Studies at Trinity University.
Steve Spriester will interview Lattimore about race relations here in the U.S. and San Antonio and the historical importance of Juneteenth. It's happening today, 2:30 this afternoon on our website at KSAT.com.
It's slow-going morning on the roads so far.
Yeah, not bad at all. Let's check things at 6:14. It is time for Time Saver Traffic.
And right now, as we take a look at the roadways, we do have reports of an accident on I-10 in Huebner, and that's going to be up here on the northwest side. Well, look, we have another accident popping up 410 over there at Parambital. Now, that possibly, maybe, could be due to those slick streets. Now, as you're seeing those vehicles traveling across that overpass, you can see all that spray being kicked up there. So we definitely have some slick conditions out there, folks. Make sure you put both hands on the wheel, put away those distractions, those cell phones and those coffee cups.
These showers going to be few and far between this morning, Mike?
Yeah, but if you get one of them, and as the case over there right behind Marcus, you know, like he was talking about with the rooster tails getting kicked up, a decent downpour that doesn't last all that long. And that'll be the case not only this morning, but also later on this afternoon.
Yeah, that pavement's soaked right there.
Yeah, and that was quick.
But then a lot of people aren't seeing anything this morning. And again, that'll be the situation pretty much all day long. All right. Did it another day.
Yeah.
Look at that in the picture.
A tiny windmill, but it still counts.
There's a
I see it there in the distance.
Beautiful windmill picture. Thank you very much for that. And that just kind of add to that. I don't know, I'm loving these windmills all of a sudden. So, hey, we got a lot of humidity out there, and that's obviously, you get all this moisture in the air, you get something to squeeze it out, and that's why we're seeing some of these brief but fairly decent showers around here, and located all the way across the hill country, and right going in toward Medina Lake. There's now a decent little shower right there, and then of course on the north side of town, right there, 1604 at 10, as we were just showing you, and then coming right in there toward 410 and Bandera. And there's another cell, which is right about 35, heading just to the north of 410, heading up in toward the, well, sort of near Schertz area up there, and another decent downpour. So again, this don't last very long, but you'll get, again, a pretty good soaker there, and it may kick up a few rooster tails. You may be kicking up a few rooster tails, I should say. So we've got these scattered showers around here, and then more of them later on this afternoon are going to try and pop up. The other thing to kind of take note of, this computer model, this is that rapid update model, has a few of these cells trying to develop out there to the west, around the Big Bend area and the mountains of Mexico. And think back a couple of days ago, there was one of these that decided to last and work its way on in here. As a matter of fact, I think it was yesterday morning, as a matter of fact, and it decided to just get a mind of its own almost and work all the way in here in through the morning hours. And that is going to be possible again tonight. You just got to always keep an eye on those that develop out there to the west. So even though this model doesn't have anything continuing to develop overnight, that is definitely a possibility. Now tomorrow, few showers around in the morning. We'll have one or two of them later on in the afternoon as well. Mid upper 70s around most of the area, and there's just a ton of moisture. And that's why, again, this moisture is getting kind of wrung out, and that's why you get those brief, moderate to a heavy downpour here and there. And then heat index readings later on today. Mid upper 90s, low hundreds. So we're going to have to just kind of watch it when you're outside. Lots of shade, lots of water. Around the country, got a fairly decent area of rain just up to the north of us with that low, which is parked over there right around the U.S.-Canadian border. Otherwise, the high is still dominating our weather, but it's not sitting right on top of us. So that's the good news. That's why we're not seeing just extreme temperatures around here. Now, as we go in toward the first part of the week, the high is not on top of us, so little disturbances can move on in here, and that's why we'll continue to see the chance for a few stray showers, maybe a thunderstorm in the afternoon. And still, we're looking at a low just to try and develop around here, and that may start to enhance rain chances a bit as we go in toward Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Obviously, it's still about a week away, but it is encouraging, and that will help to keep temperatures down a little bit as well. 86 degrees today at noon. A couple of showers around here, a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm later on today. 93, normal high temperature. So again, temperatures across the board on paper are being held in check. Now, of course, we've got the humidity to deal with, but boy, you know, you really can't really scoff at that when these readings are in the low 90s this time of year, and those afternoon showers and thunderstorms, maybe a better chance of rain by Wednesday and Thursday of next week. So
okay,
I was trying to find the word. He was looking at me off camera laughing. I was going, you can't really
oh no,
scoff at those temperatures.
No, it's early, and we're required to talk and make sense and all that stuff. So I get it. We empathize and sympathize.
Yes, we do.
Thank you, Mike. 619, 77 degrees.
And have you ever wanted to go to space? Not me. I'm a big chicken. But, well, you might have a chance to do so by flying in a capsule. The details next on GMSA.
Here's your secret word of the day. Enter it on KSAT.com/Circle K for a monthly chance to win free gas for a year. Every entry wins a Polar Pop. We are Circle K.
From sweat-breaking dances, to sleepy smudges, to shower skipping. These days call for a quick clean. Luckily, help is still one wipe away. Love, Neutrogena.
Okay, everyone, our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Great tasting Ensure with 9 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, and nutrients to support immune health. When migraine strikes, dissolve it with Nurtec. The only quick dissolve treatment for migraine attacks that can get many people back to normal activities and last up to 48 hours with just 1 dose. Wonderful. Don't take if allergic to Nurtec. The most common side effect was nausea. Nurtec. 1 dose. Wonderful.
In this morning's GMA First Look, it's not the 4th of July. So why are so many American cities seeing spikes in fireworks complaints?
Everybody has been, locked down or shut in for, 3.5 months, and people are just itching to do something.
Night after night, in backyards and on street corners. That sound cutting through the darkness.
We got these boom, boom, booms like at 12 o'clock at night. From everyone that I've talked to has just said it has to stop.
These displays aren't just loud, they're also potentially dangerous. We'll tell you what you need to know to stay safe coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Eva Pilgrim, ABC News, New York.
To infinity and beyond, kind of. A new company is venturing into space tourism. Check this out. They're planning to offer flights in a capsule lifted to the edge of space in a high-altitude balloon. The first flights are expected to launch in about 3 years and cost about $125,000 in person. But that includes a carry-on and seat assignment.
Trying to convince me to go, huh?
Right.
The scooter company Lime is expanding its subscription service. You might remember seeing those around town.
Yep.
It's going to include daily and monthly passes in an effort to lock up customers in a competitive marketplace. Prices will vary by location. It's believed a daily pass will cost around $15.
The United States is running low on coins. Did you ever think you would hear that? Latest consequence of the pandemic comes as many stores remain closed and people aren't breaking bills, leaving banks short-changed. But once the economy is back in full swing, the coin supply should be replenished.
Right now on KSAT.com, check out the story about one dad who has gone viral for creating a YouTube dad advice channel. Rob Kinney creates videos that feature tutorials on how to do all kinds of things, from unclogging a bathtub to how to iron a dress shirt. Some have begun to call him the Mr. Rogers for adults. In his videos, Kinney hits every topic that a father figure might be expected to get right, including some dad jokes. We have links up now to some of his videos, and you can see his most recent video as well. This is all on our website. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Happy Father's Day. Happy early Father's Day. Time now, 6:25, 77 degrees.
And we are celebrating the big weekend for dads. In the next half hour, we'll give you some gift ideas for the dads out there.
For now, let's take a look at some birthdays we're having. This is Evelyn, 11 years old. Happy birthday, cute pic.
And this is Elliot, 1 year old. Got the race car tracksuit on. We are birthdays Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays here on GMSA. Post your picture at ksat.com/birthdays. Don't forget to include a name and an age. Happy birthday to everybody with a birthday this weekend.
Today we celebrate Juneteenth, or Freedom Day. Good morning, I'm Sarah Acosta, and just a bit on GMSA, we'll tell you how you can tune in and celebrate virtually.
Later today, one of the cops involved in the killing of Rayshard Brooks in Atlanta is expected in court. I'm Alex Brachet in Washington. I'll have details coming up.
And you really can't tell in this picture, but we've got a few showers crisscrossing the KSAT 12 viewing area this morning, including San Antonio. We'll get the very latest from Mike coming up. Good morning to you. It is Friday. It is the 19th, and we're glad you're with us here as we kick off the Father's Day weekend.
Yes, thanks for joining us, and happy Friday.
How's it looking out there? I know you've had some wet roads on a few cameras, right, Marcus?
We were doing very, very well out there. Now with the rain, we do have a couple of accidents out there. There's another one popping up here in the downtown area, 3735, but up there, 410 Starcrest. We also have I-10 in Huebner. So getting a little treacherous out there for some folks.
Yeah, and where you see those accidents, you can pretty much
tell where the rain's at.
Not whether that's the cause of it, but that's where it has been raining. So you can kind of, put two and two together. But a lot of humidity. I mean, once again, it's kind of hard to see the skyline because of the low clouds and all that humidity out there. And obviously, there's not a lot. I mean, just a few sprinkly showers, Uvalde County, and then working their way to the east. And a few moderate, decent downpours here and there. We did have one, it was actually kind of a red dot that showed up, which means a little stronger downpour, if you will. And that's what we're going to be seeing today. It's going to be a brief, maybe heavy downpour. It was actually over there at 10 at 1604, a half an hour ago, I think, Marcus. It was really kicking up some rooster tails up there because it had come down fairly good. And now we're over here on the northeast side, we've got a few of those, decent downpours as well. So this will be the, hit or miss later on throughout the morning as well as this afternoon. 77 in town, 78 Castroville. Pretty much steady temperatures because of the cloud cover and because of the very, very high humidity. I mean, we've got dew point now up to 75. Poor to say, I'm sure that's kind of fed by some of the rain that fell, but that's just, like slap you in the face kind of humidity as you step outside this morning. Everything's on the low side, mold, grass, and pigweed. And showers, mid-70s, mid-upper 70s, partly cloudy, scattered showers, few storms, low 90s. We're going to stay in the low 90s through the weekend, even through a good chunk of next week, which is good because we've got a lot of humidity out there. Yes, we'll have heat index to deal with, but keeping temperatures in check. That is something to really be thankful for. More on the weekend forecast coming up. Once again, time saver traffic. And there was nothing, an hour ago?
Nothing an hour ago. Now, this is the latest one that popped up. That's northbound 37 at Jones. That's coming in as a major accident, as is this one here, Pyramidal on those eastbound lanes right before Starcrest. Now, take a look at this one. Also, I-10 and Huebner. Now, the Pyramidal 410. That one we actually have on TransGuide, and as you can see here, it is a mess. It looks as if possibly we've shut down the highway and diverting everybody onto the access road. So we'll get more information on this accident as it becomes available. Mark and Stephanie.
Thank you, Marcus. It is Juneteenth, the day the announcement was made right here in Texas that the Civil War is over and that all slaves were free.
Freedom Day dates back to 1865 in Galveston, where that announcement was made 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed.
Now, Sarah Costa is live downtown with how you can observe Juneteenth. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. Now, most of those celebrations will be virtual because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but I wanted to start with one that's local and that will be in person. That's going to be at Our Lady of the Lake University. We'll venerate Juneteenth with a prayer vigil called Prayer of Solidarity. The vigil will also honor the life of George Floyd. This will start at 10 this morning at the Sacred Heart Chapel on OLLU's campus. The event will also be live streamed on Our Lady of the Lake's Mission and Ministry Facebook page. Also, if you head over to KSAT.com, you'll find a list of virtual events happening locally and across the country. One of them includes a panel hosted by the UTSA Student Union with the African American Studies and Multicultural Student Center for Equity. That will start at 11 this morning. Now, KSAT will also be having a live interview online and streaming on our KSAT TV app at 2:30 this afternoon. Steve Spriester will be interviewing Dr. Carrie Lattimore, professor of African American Studies at Trinity University. They will discuss race relations in San Antonio and in the U.S. and the historical importance of Juneteenth. We also have a new series right now on our KSAT TV streaming app called History Untold, which focuses on the untold history of African Americans in the U.S. It's a really great, interesting series. You're going to want to check it out. You can download the KSAT TV streaming app on any of your streaming devices. Live from downtown, I'm Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News. Mark and Stephanie.
New this morning, a man's recovering in the hospital after he was shot twice in the chest last night. According to San Antonio police, they received a disturbance call just before 11 p.m. in the 4800 block of Castle Sword. That's near Ritterman Road. When police arrived, they found the victim with 2 life-threatening gunshot wounds to the upper chest. He was taken to BAMC in critical condition. Officers say the suspects took off in a black Ford F-150 and at last check have not yet been found. Any other morning headlines in Atlanta? The officer charged with the murder of Rashard Brooks is expected to be in court later today.
The other officer involved in that case is speaking out about what happened that night. ABC's Alex Perche has more from Washington.
Stark images of two police officers. A week ago, Officer Garrett Rolfe was on the force. Now, out of a job, later today, he'll face a judge.
The first charge is felony murder.
The 27-year-old is facing 11 charges, including murder, for shooting and killing Rayshard Brooks in a Wendy's parking lot. He's being held without bail. His former partner, 26-year-old Devin Brosnan, is accused of aggravated assault. This is him yesterday, leaving jail on a $50,000 signature bond.
I'm looking forward to cooperating with any investigators.
He spoke on MSNBC with his attorney describing the beginnings of that encounter with Rayshard Brooks.
I felt he was friendly, he was respectful, I was respectful to him, and I felt like, he seemed like someone who potentially needed my help. And I was really just there to see what I could do for him and make sure that he was safe.
The officers determined Brooks was drunk, and when they tried to put him in handcuffs, he refused, and it got physical. Seen wrestling with one of their stun guns. When he reached back and pointed it towards Garrett Rolfe, Rolfe fired 3 shots, killing Brooks.
The city of Atlanta says you cannot even fire a taser at someone who's running away, so you certainly can't fire a gun, a handgun, at someone who is running away.
The shooting sparked anger for days in a city already dealing with unrest from recent police killings across the country. Supporters of the officers say the shooting was justified and accuse the city of buckling under political pressure. Police across the city have been calling in sick. The official line from the department is that the numbers are small, saying we have enough resources to maintain operations and remain able to respond to incidents.
Our job is ugly to start with, and now you face the chance of, at best, spending the rest of your life in prison without parole.
The Fulton County District Attorney says he won't seek the death penalty against Garrett Rolfe in this case. Now, as for whether or not Rolfe's former partner will testify against him, the DA says he expects Brosnan to follow through with what he's already promised. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
It is exactly 6:37. We're at 77 degrees.
Pandemic has many businesses struggling right now. So here on GMSA, we continue to shine the spotlight on restaurants that are still open and serving great food. Up next, we're going to check out Machu Picchu Peruvian Grill and this week's Flavor Faves.
6:40, welcome back and good morning. More and more we keep hearing about struggling restaurants here in the city, and that's one reason why Flavor Faves is back, to show you what's still open and serving great food.
This week, our Erica Hernandez takes us to Machu Picchu Peruvian Grill off of Bandera Road.
For the past year and a half, Machu Picchu Peruvian Grill has wowed customers with their flavorful, authentic dishes like pollo a la brasa and lomo saltado. Neptor Gudiel has been working hard with his staff to keep orders rolling out and serving food that isn't very common for San Antonio.
The most popular is going to be the lomo saltado and ceviche, and make it with fish, onions, cilantro, and cook it with the lime juice.
And just like other restaurants here in town, Machu Picchu Peruvian Grill also suffering because of COVID-19. At one point, they almost shut down.
It's a little tough for us. I was thinking to close it up, the restaurant, like 3 weeks ago.
And Neptor goes on to tell us that it was his loyal customers who called and convinced him to stay open.
And then customers started calling us, please don't close, don't close. So I told my wife, let's do this. Let's see how they're gonna survive it.
While there has been a small uptick in dine-in customers, it's still not enough.
I don't think I can survive it another month. So I have no business inside.
Machu Picchu Peruvian Grill is open Tuesday through Saturday. The hope is that this hidden gem can continue to keep its doors open, serving great food. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Well, it is Father's Day weekend. Our executive producer, Joy, asked me, what do guys want these days? And I think there are some that are gift ideas that are topical, considering we're kind of living a new normal right now. One of them is unique face masks. And I know those are a little hard to find, especially last minute for this weekend, but they are out there, including favorite sports teams, like the Spurs and the Cowboys or Texans. I'll also highly recommend a bottle of Texas-made wine or liquor. Maybe try some of the whiskeys like Rebecca Creek or Balcones Brimstone, which is very smoky. Also, speaking of smoke, grill accessories, real easy to find. Everybody's got them now, H-E-B, Walmart. And then with all the Skype and Zoom and FaceTiming we're doing now, wireless earbuds are easy to find and they are cheaper than ever. Highly recommend all those as some real quick, easy to get for the most part.
Good.
Father's Day gift ideas.
Yeah, no, those are great ideas. In fact, my husband's asleep right now, so I'll just say we got one of those on the list. We got grill accessories.
Good.
So we got that, and he's big into grill. But we also did something at home.
Yeah, I was going to say, you and Rooney have been working on some stuff.
Yes, and so she was there painting a rock, a personalized rock for my husband. Her little artwork is on there. She loves to create. It's something that she likes to do anyway. And so this is something special she made for my husband. And, it's something you can do at home. You don't have to, get out and buy something. You can always just go around the house and, make something for
And
your
what were
loved
you saying
one.
about the markers? Those are new Sharpie
yes. So
paints?
these are Sharpie paints, and I got them for my little girl because regular paint is not as precise, and she's still little, and it's hard to get an exact design in. So these work kind of like a marker, but they're paints.
Where'd you get them?
Target.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Awesome.
Little Rooney, she's so cute.
Well, it's
Thank
Father's Day
you.
week. Happy Father's Day to you guys.
Yes, happy Father's Day.
as well.
Happy Father's Day to you as well.
Thank you, sir.
What's next? Oh,
I think
is this
you,
picture
Mike.
of me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is you.
There's my little squirrels when they were just itty bitties, all tuckered out, rocking them in the rocker.
And you've got them on your tie, too.
Yes, indeed, I do. And this was actually a couple of years ago. There's some handsome boys, and they are we taking a shot of the oh,
There you
There
go.
you go.
Yay.
That's a great gift idea.
Hey, you've got tie on your tie.
I know. Yeah, when they were little, I remember they were out there at the playground. My wife took that picture, then had it made into a tie. So I love that.
And you'll treasure it forever.
Yeah, it's a special memory.
So,
All right, real quick look at traffic, sir.
Well, we got one more shot.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you
There
go.
we
I didn't
go.
know. Sorry.
Happy Father's Day.
And my ultimate gift idea is a time machine because they grow up too fast.
amen to that.
Yes.
They grow up too fast. And not to try to outdo anybody, but I don't have a tie with their picture. But here's what I do have. We found out going through some old videos a couple of weeks ago, found some audio sections of these videos. And so my wife has a unique ringtone for her, for my son, and I have
Daddy, I love you.
from when she was 3 years old.
Oh my
So
goodness, what an awesome.
I told you get the tissue ready. I told you get the tissues ready.
I thought he was kidding. He said, "Get your."
And that's her ringtone for me, and then she's got one of my son Jake for her.
That's
Oh
cool.
my goodness.
So,
Oh,
Mike, do you
Okay,
need a
that-
hug?
just about yes. I think I do. So.
and now unfortunately we have to move on to something a little bit more serious. Traffic not doing too well out there. We're getting more and more accidents out there. This is a major accident has completely shut down the eastbound main lanes of 410 as you're approaching Starcrest, and that is due to the number of vehicles and how far they're spread out across those lanes. Also have eastbound I-10 at Hebner, and then take a look at this next accident that we have. This is Highway 90 at 35. Everyone is having to exit Nogalitos on those eastbound main lanes of Highway 90 due to that accident as well. So folks, you need to slow down, both hands on the wheel, and put away those distractions, even if they're pictures of the kids.
Dad, how do you not just cry every time the phone rings? So
After a while, my wife has to tell my son, stop texting me.
that's great. What a cool looking picture. This is, talk about the timing in so many ways, the crop duster, the sunrise, and then and on top of it, that hawk flying around up there. What a neat picture. Thank you very much for that one. And the phone is ringing again. Wow, just like a couple of days ago, we almost can't even see the skyline now because the low clouds have sort of settled on in here. We do have some showers around. Now, it looks like things are sort of dying down a little bit, but we've had a few of them. There's still a couple of them moving through town right now. And even on the northeast side, we had some. So there are going to be some damp spots on the roads. And we will, even though these die down, we will see a few more just kind of scattered about later on today. Even a couple of thunderstorms thrown in. Probably the majority of this would be down here along the coastal plain. Also, what we're going to have to, even though those are kind of confined out there to the west, you always got to keep an eye on those things because it was, 2 nights ago when we had some of those, one of them decided to just kind of get a mind of its own and work its way into western portions of the hill country. So you always have to watch out for some of those nighttime storm complexes, those ones, like I said, that have kind of a mind of their own to develop coming in there out of the Big Bend area off the mountains of Mexico. We will have a few more showers around tomorrow morning, and then they're going to be sort of once the sun goes down, not only today, but also tomorrow, they will be dying down. So temperatures are in the 70s right now, but then we've got these dew point temperatures, which are just sky high out there. And that's why humidity, even though it'll drop down a little bit later on this afternoon, we're still going to have heat index readings in the mid to upper 90s and even some low hundreds. And that area of high pressure, which is kind of basically causes the atmosphere to sink, and usually have fair weather associated with that. But in the summertime, a lot of times, if it's sitting right on top of us, obviously that pushes down in the atmosphere and causes it to compress and heat up. So it's not right on top of us. So that's the good news in this whole weather pattern. Also, since it's not on top of us, we can get these little disturbances to slide in here, and it looks like there's going to try to be one moving on in here maybe by the middle part of next week, a little bit of an area of low pressure, and that would enhance our rain chances for the mid to latter part of next week. 86 degrees today at noon. Few scattered showers around the area, maybe a thunderstorm. Same thing later on today. 93, that's the normal high temperature this time of year. And we'll have the same thing tomorrow, Sunday, pretty much into next week. Instead of things warming up, some computer models are now trying to get things to stay pretty steady even through most of next week.
All right, thank you, Mike. 649, 77 degrees.
And all homes at some point need maintenance, so it's important to set aside money to be prepared for when that happens. Tomorrow on GMSA, we will give you some tips on budgeting for home improvement, so you're not surprised when that bill comes in. That's tomorrow on Good Morning San Antonio.
Outside with Live Cam, the news you need to know before you go is coming up here on GMSA.
An argument in the late hours of the night ends in shots fired. This morning, one man is in the hospital. Police say they were called out for a disturbance in the 4800 block of Castle Sword Drive near I-35 in Rittiman around 11 last night. Things had already escalated by the time police arrived to the scene. During an argument, they say the suspect pulled out a gun and fired their weapon, shooting the victim twice in the upper chest. The victim, a man in his 20s, remains in critical condition at BAMSI Hospital. Here's what police have said about the suspect. No arrests have been made as of this morning, but they received some information from witnesses that say that the suspect could have taken off in a black truck, possibly an F-150. Reporting Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
Today we celebrate Juneteenth, otherwise known as Freedom Day. Good morning, I'm Sarah Acosta, and if you head to KSAT.com right now, you'll find a list of virtual celebrations. There's a virtual panel that UTSA Student Union is hosting at 11 this morning with the African American Studies and Multicultural Student Center for Equity. Now, if you also go to KSAT.com, KSAT is also hosting a live interview at 2:30 where Steve Spriester will interview Dr. Carrie Lattimore, who's a professor of African American Studies at Trinity University. They will discuss race relations in San Antonio and in the U.S. and the historical importance of Juneteenth. Also, if you head to KSAT TV, our streaming app, you'll find a new series called History Untold, which focuses on the untold history of African Americans in the U.S. From downtown, I'm Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News.
A recent UTSA graduate and new HEB employee using computer science to help our community. Good morning, I'm Max Massey. I'm going to introduce you to today's great graduate, Matt Moore.
And let's check traffic at just about 5 till 7.
How's it looking now, Marcus?
Well, we still have these accidents in place, and if you didn't get a chance to see it before, this is northbound 37 at Jones Avenue. So we're still clearing that accident, and we still have eastbound 410 closed, all traffic exiting Starcrest for that major accident you see there. Officers feverishly trying to get those vehicles off the roadway. And then we have a lane block. That tractor trailer there lost part of its load eastbound Highway 90 at the Nogalitos exit. Mike?
We still have, well, there's plenty of, boy, you can't even hardly see the skyline there. Plenty of humidity, low clouds around, and we do have a few light little showers hanging around. Watch out for maybe a patch of foggy in some of the low-lying areas this morning. 77 here in town, 78 Castroville, and the humidity, like I said, is just, it's a wet towel in the face when you walk outside. 86 at noon, 93 for a high temperature. A couple of scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm here or there, and that's pretty much going to be the case now through the weekend and into next week. The nice thing is high temperatures will be held in check, close to normal readings. Now, of course, it's going to feel hotter than that with the heat index, with the humidity out there, and we'll have a few of those scattered showers and storms. Maybe a little bit better chance for some rain by the mid to latter part of next week.
Okay, Father's Day plans this weekend, Mike?
We're going out for brunch on Sunday.
Marcus?
Go to the lake.
Awesome. And I'm fishing on the Guadalupe today with my son.
Well, happy Father's Day to all of you. Mike, Marcus, Mark, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
And have a great weekend.
Yes, absolutely. We'll see you back here for GMSA at 9.